Hi everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I've got a fun project for you today. This is a jelly roll project, and we're always looking for something to use those jelly rolls on. And I happen to love this. I think it came together so beautiful. I love how, we've graded the color over. I just think it's really fun. Can't wait to show you how to make it. So to make this quilt, you're going to need one roll of 2.5-inch strips, and we've used this beautiful roll by Maywood Studio called Shadow Play Mineral. You're going to need some background fabric, and for that you're going to need 3 5/8 yards, and your backing you're going to need 4 1/4 yards of backing, and we've used this green. Let me show you the backing here. Sometimes it's just really fun to have a nice simple back, and this back is shows up the quilting beautifully. It's called Sticky Buns, and I love that backing. We didn't do a border on this, but that's a great way to increase the size of your quilt, but I just thought it looked perfect just like it is. So let me show you how to make it. So this quilt is really fun to make. So basically you're going to open up your whole roll and you're going to divide these into sets of 3. So you're going to take a light, a medium, and a dark strip, and you're going to match those in sets. And I did this to my whole roll because at the end you might have to do a little bit of switching, but we're looking for light, mediums, and darks in all the colors. So then you're going to sew those 3 strips together just like I have here. And it'll make one long strip just like this. You're going to sew them at 1/4 inch. You're going to press it open, and then you're going to hope that it measures at 6 1/2. It should. If it does, you're golden. If it doesn't, then you want to square these to 6 1/2 to make sure that your blocks are all going to line up. So this one looks pretty good, and you can put a square on here. And all we have left over is the peaks on the edge, and so you can go ahead and trim those off. I'm just going to trim one right here. Find yourself a nice 6 1/2-inch ruler, and I'm just going to trim this like this. And so you're going to do this to all your strip sets. So out of each strip set, you're going to get 6 of these squares. You want to square them to 6 1/2, and when you're setting a block on point, whatever size your block is, 6 1/2, you're going to want to take a background square and make it 1 inch bigger. And that will enable you to cut it diagonally both directions and put your triangles all the way around it, and it will flip it on point and it will just fit perfectly. So I'm going to take these squares. What I did to get these is I cut a 7 1/2-inch strip and subcut these into 7 1/2-inch squares. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to lay our ruler on here like this, and we're going to cut it this way. And we're going to cut it this way. Just lay that ruler so it touches the point on both sides. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring our square in, and we're going to put these on the top and the bottom and the 2 sides like this. So I always sew opposite sides at a time. So we'll sew the top and the bottom, and then I'll sew the 2 sides. So let's go ahead and put this on here. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. I can see right here that mine hang over about 1/2 inch on either side. If you want to get it perfect, you can actually take this and finger press a little crease, and take this and finger press a little crease, and then just lay that little triangle in that crease, and you'll know that you got it exactly in the middle. I have been eyeballing these forever, so I always forget that not everybody can do that. So that's a great way to get it just perfect. And we are just going to sew this across here 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to finger press a little crease, and I'm going to take my little triangle, and I'm going to finger press that as well and lay it in there. And then just sew it 1/4 inch, like this. And then we're going to press these open before we start on the other 2. So we'll come over here and we will press that open, just like this, nice and flat. And then we're going to go ahead and add our triangles to the other side. And you can still do the same thing. Put little creases in there. And we can crease both of these. You can iron these if you want. I find finger pressing enough and convenient. All right, so let's go ahead and add these to the sides. There we are. And just lay it on there. The nice thing about using the Kona is that it's good either side, you know. And so you always want to lay, when you finger press, you always want to lay the valley into the valley. And so it's much easier to sew that than it is to sew a peak. So line these up, make sure they're all lined up nice. 1/4 of an inch. And then we'll press these out. Just like that. And then this is your block right here. Isn't that cute? So once you get your block done, what I did with mine was I assembled them into 4 blocks. So you can see here, there's 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these. Then I laid them out so that I could gradate the color because I thought it was so pretty doing this. Now you can also assemble them in rows. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 across by 8 down. And you can do that as well. My brain liked the idea of the 4 patches, 4 of these sewn together, and then put the bigger blocks together. I always like doing that. Then it goes together so quickly and easily, and it's just really fun to see. Now, when you lay it out, there is a little bit of moving around that you have to do because I'm not great at this color thing. So I call in Ron and I have him look at it and he makes a few tweaks and then it just seems to flow top to bottom color-wise. So if you're not great with that, you know, the grading of the color, make sure that you call somebody in to help you. Now when I got this put together, because I was sewing 4 big blocks together, it made a very long quilt. So I saved those last few blocks and I made a runner. Look how cute this is. I just scrapped them all up and I put my lights to the center just the same and I just made a little runner. Such a great little bonus project. It's happy, it's cute. So when I put these together, the runner ended up being 17 by 59. It's a great size on your table for a runner. The quilt ended up being 68 by 68. And I just think it went together so easily, so fun. And if you have a jelly roll laying around, I think it would be fun even to scrap it up and make it scrappy. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the Shadow Play quilt from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. Hey everybody! Every week I give you a new idea and we are almost 1 million quilters strong. So join us every Friday for a new tutorial. And if you haven't clicked or subscribed, make sure you do that today. See you on Friday.